Hey everyone. Well, unfortunately, this year was the first year that I didn't go to CES, and it's also the year that Sony has made quite a bunch of announcements, one being PlayStation Now. And a few of you have already asked me what my thoughts on this are. My thoughts are basically this: it's not backwards compatibility. Even though they have stated that this is what the technology will be used for, I can almost guarantee that they're not going to do it the way we want it to be done. The PlayStation 4 drive is more than capable of reading a PlayStation disc, PlayStation 2 disc, and PS3 disc. But what Sony's going to end up doing, since they've invested a lot of money into Gaikai technology, they're not going to do what we want. They're not going to let us just pop in a disc and be able to play the game streaming. They're not going to do it. It's how I want them to do it. It's how any right-minded person would want it to be done, but there's no business for it, for Sony, and I really think that it's a shame. I mean, I like the idea that they have, however, it's not going to work. I don't see myself wanting to pay extra just to rent a game. They're treating this like video on demand. That's how they're treating this service, which is fine. Yes, great. The technology's great that it's able to do this. But again, it's not the solution we were looking for. Had they gone about this where you're only capable on a PlayStation 4, where if you have a PS3 disc, PS2, or PS1 disc, that you can just pop it in and be able to play it, fine. It would be worth it to me if that's the way it works. But knowing Sony and any other company for that matter, that's just not how it's going to work. And this comes back to why I'm a fan of PC gaming. And, before you guys go on and say you're a PC elitist, just hear me out. Whenever I build a new computer, I don't have to worry about my games not working with the new computer. Any game that I bought ever for PC, I can get it to run on any new PC. There's DOSBox for games that were released in the 90s. There's emulators for any game released prior to that. I mean, you can run the original StarCraft on a computer built today. You don't have to worry about sacrificing your back catalog of games when you upgrade your computer. And there are a bunch of people out there that feel for some reason that once a new generation of consoles is released, the previous generation is shit and no longer worth their time. There are classics out there that were once treated as among the greats. People don't remember, but Jak and Daxter was as big as Uncharted. People praised Jak and Daxter as much as they're praising Uncharted today. The Last of Us, heck, you had games like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot was bigger than The Last of Us in its heyday. And these are things that, in the future, people are going to be like, The Last of Us? That's old shit. That looks horrible. That's all awful graphics. We want the new things. And that's just how society is. It's kind of stupid and silly. But you don't see people say that about movies. If you notice, Die Hard is an awesome movie series. Die Hard 1, 2, 3, and 4 are great. 5, it was shit. But the original Die Hard is considered among the greats released in the 80s. You don't hear someone say, well, actually, the original Die Hard isn't worth your time because, Die Hard 5 has better picture quality. Die Hard 5 has more explosions. Die Hard 5 makes the original Die Hard shit and unworthy of your time. It doesn't work that way. Yes, video games improve over the years. Yes, they refine gameplay mechanics that were once clunky, and they make it better. Case in point, the original Resident Evil versus the remake that they made for the GameCube. The GameCube version corrected a lot of major issues that the original game had. Had better controls, had better inventory system. It was a little easier, I would have to say, but it was a very well remade game. I think it was excellent. And they do this occasionally for other games, but not quite to the level of detail that they went to for the GameCube release. All I'm saying is, console games, they're not going to give you the backwards compatibility that you deserve. And this is something, as I said, is a non-issue for PC gaming. And yes, I love to play the original Half-Life now and then. I love to play old games that I grew up with once in a while. You have a different opinion of them. You have sometimes a game that was very challenging when you were growing up is easy as shit that you can do even if you're inebriated. So I have to say this, guys. Before you applaud Sony for the PlayStation Now, just look at it for what it is. It is nothing more than a glorified video-on-demand service that you will have to repurchase your games. You will have to either get a subscription of some sort to, be able to play these games. As I said, the technology's great. However, it's who controls said technology that's the problem. Yes, at the end of the day, they're a business that needs to make money. However, I think they could have done something very special with this service. Had they gone about it in the way where they said, look, all your back catalog of games that you already own, when inserted into the PlayStation 4, you will be able to play them streaming with Gaikai technology. That's how they should have approached it. And they should have approached it in a way of, if you don't own any games, you can still buy them digitally through the store, and then you will have access to that streamable title. That's the way they should do it. Now, some people are like, well, it failed for the PSP in Japan when they were doing upgrades. Well, it failed for multiple reasons. For one, they were charging an upgrade fee. Second, there was no drive attachment for the PSP Go that would allow you to transfer the titles. The same thing for the Vita. Had they released a drive that plugged into one of its USB ports, that would have worked. I would have been able to pop in my UMD discs and play it on the PS Vita. It comes down to convenience. It's more convenient to play everything on one device than it is to carry around multiple devices that do specific things. The reason why I keep my original 60 gig PlayStation 3 around is because it plays PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. So I have two consoles that's able to play 4 generations worth of games. That's great. I just wish the PS4 could do more. It's a powerful piece of hardware. I don't see why it can't play PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 games from the built-in hardware. Emulation has worked flawlessly on PC. You're able to play PS2 games without a problem. I have done this. I have put in my PlayStation 2 games in the PC and ran it with an emulator, and it works flawlessly. Why can't Sony do this with the PlayStation 4? If the PlayStation 4 is so powerful, why can't they do it? I can understand it. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that PS3 games will be damn near difficult to emulate on a PS4 because of the cell architecture. The cell architecture was very inefficient and very difficult to program for. But if they're going to use this Gaikai technology, I truly believe it's in their best interest, as well as us gamers, that they do us a favor and allow us to play our previously owned games that we have the physical media for, and not have to pay extra for it. If they do something in the lines of, hey, you know what, if you have a PS Plus account, then you can stream the games that you already own. If you don't, then you need to pay another subscription because, hey, it costs money to keep the lights on. Fine, I'm willing to give them that, but nothing more. If they say, hey, you know what, $40 a year and any game that you already own, you can stream as long as the disc is inside the console, I'm okay with that. But I do not want to be given the option of either you buy the game again or you don't play it at all. That's not the option. That's not what we want. So take care, guys. Look out for future videos. If you guys have any recommendations of stories you would like me to cover, please drop a line below. New UGP episode, it will be recorded tomorrow. We will be attempting yet another live show, so link below to my Twitch account. And yeah, take care, guys.